Oh, what is going on? It is episode 124 of Left Side Heavy, the podcast presented by Blue Wire. It's your boy, Jevin LaFave. As per usual, we have our lad, Don Barton, and joined from what we believe is a Boston Pizza is Ian McNaughton in his silver tips gear with the Reebok lanyard with the media pass, I assume. How we doing, kiddo? It took you about 15 hours to connect to the audio, but we sooner or later figured it out.
I'm actually at I'm at a cactus club. Thanks for asking.
Oh, my apologies. My apologies.
And this is my game ops badge, so people recognize me, and I don't get questioned by securities because I'm in the arena restaurant where there is Wi-Fi and a place to plug my computer. Boys, it's good. Busy. You said this was 124, Jevin, so this is almost the Matt Dumba episode.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Almost, kinda, sort of, in a
Kinda,
way.
almost, sort of, yeah, in a way. I suppose so. Yeah, we'll say the Matt Dumba episode, I guess so. I don't know.
I'm trying to. There's got to be a referee who's got like 124, right? Because the ref numbers go up like triple digits for some reason. But
yeah,
I think players should be allowed to go up to triple digits.
that'd be electric factory.
I know it's not necessary, but I do think it'd be hilarious.
Yeah, it'd get a little hard to read, probably. Someone's like, give me 4 digits.
Yeah. Give me 4 digits, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. Fucking name bar. You ever had 4 digits on a jersey? That rocks.
Sooner or later, Tyler Sagan's gonna have his phone number on the back, so you can get all the puck bunnies to hit him up.
Jesse Puljujarvi.
Yeah.
Jesse Puljujarvi is trying to, get as many numbers as he can onto the back of his jersey.
Yeah.
How many numbers can I squeeze on here without it looking too ridiculous?
That would be amazing. Hayden, how we doing, buddy? You recovering from that Britain loss?
Shut the fuck up, please.
No, he's recovering from fantasy loss. It's okay, bro. It happens.
Yeah, I actually have a pretty crazy fantasy story. So I was asking.
By the way, your girlfriend shredded us.
Oh yeah.
Like she beat all.
Okay. I have 2 fantasy stories.
She showed everyone the 50 states this weekend.
No, I have 2 amazing stories about fantasy. So back in week 2, I actually ended up playing her, and I honestly was trying to be like a fantasy shark, and I was like, honey, okay, Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins could be a low scoring game. Okay, in my mind, I was like, both great defenses, or not Miami,
Baltimore.
Buffalo, yeah, Miami, Baltimore. Thank you. Both at what I thought great defenses. Buffalo, I'm kind of not sure anymore.
Baltimore.
Fuck me, man. It's a rough day.
It was like me a couple episodes ago when I couldn't
Literally,
get
man.
legit
Okay.
anything right.
I'm not gonna mess up anything else this time, I promise. I was just saying to her, I think I don't know exactly how Tua is still gonna play. I think you should switch out Jalen Waddle for Mark Ingram, who was filling in for an injured Alvin Kamara. So he's going to get the bulk of the touches, no real big running back snake. Yeah, he is going up against Tampa, but I almost feel like there's a guaranteed 11 points. He got to 8, but Jalen Waddle got plus 30. Yeah. And of course, I was going up against her, and if she had substituted Ingram and Waddle, she may have won. So technically, she should very well much be 2-2 right now. But yeah, she's 1-3, so it's tough. And
yeah, when you told her like, hey, Shaden, so Waddle just scored like a 60-yard touchdown, and she was like, I have him. He's like, yeah, I know. And I told you to sub in the guy who just fumbled.
Yeah, literally how it was. And you know what? We all make mistakes. I'm not perfect. Okay, I mean, I was perfect up until this weekend, until Carrie ended up beating me in Dynasty. But you know, it's an off week. Um, yeah, I'm still recovering from London. Double doink. Yeah, we all get it. Hey, Will Lutz still hit a 60-yard field goal, and I really can't ask for him to hit back-to-back 60-plus yarders. Guy has fucking nuts hanging down to his shins. I trust Will Lutz with my life. If a slight gust had just blown it to the left, we would have been in overtime. And I'm not trying to be that guy, like every Saints fan is. But come on, man. What were these penalties? Like, I can't fathom it. I know we'll kind of get into a little bit of it. I know this bulk of the episode's not going to be football because we got some big shit coming up.
Yeah.
And you know what, Jeff? To stop my rambling, you fucking take over, bud.
All right. Yeah, so this episode will be skipping the NFL.
Oh,
I
we're
know
fully skipping it. Oh, okay.
there's a lot to get to, and I just know us, and the more we get into the NFL, the less we'll talk about the NHL. But it's NHL preview.
Wait. You didn't want me to talk about Geno Smith for 45 minutes and why he's going to win the MVP this year? That's not why you brought me on? Oh.
No, I brought you on
I
to
was
talk.
totally misled. Oh.
I brought you on to talk 45 minutes about the Red Wings, buddy. Oh, he's lagging.
I'll take it.
I can do that.
Yeah, okay, there it is.
I can do that.
But yeah, it's the NHL preview. Season starts on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, or whenever October 7th is. I think that's Friday actually. But it starts in Prague, I'm pretty sure between Nashville and San Jose. But yeah, it's the NHL preview. We're gonna break down the divisions.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Ian's going full robotic on us.
Oh my god, that's terrible.
Oh yeah, he's fully glitched out.
This
We'll
is the Wi-Fi that fuck, what did he say? Cactus Club gets you?
Yeah, Cactus Club at the Everett Silvertips Arena will sure get you.
Oh Jesus Christ.
Hopefully he joins us in a minute. But yeah,
Hey.
Oh, did we got him back?
I can hear you guys, and I know the audio is bad because I've done like social here. I know the audio in this arena is shit.
Yeah, before you were saying something before you lagged out. It was right after we were talking about you talking 45 minutes on about Detroit.
Well,
And-
I was gonna say the season opens on Sunday, isn't it? Or Friday, whatever.
Friday.
Yeah,
Friday. Whatever.
Friday. There's 2 overseas games, and then the North American games kick off on the 11th. So we're doing a preview episode as per usual, breaking down all the divisions, giving our playoff pictures, a little bit of superlatives, our award predictions, and then capping it off with our Stanley Cup matchups and winners. It's gonna be a fun episode. And if we have any bonus time, if we have some gas in the tank, then we'll talk about our favorite moments of the NFL weekend if we have time for that.
Love it.
But where do you boys want to start off? First of all, we were all in the same fantasy draft over the weekend on Sunday night. How do we feel about our teams?
Ian, I'll let you go first, buddy.
I'll be honest. I haven't even seen my team.
Well, do you want me to read it off for you, buddy?
I haven't even been able to log in, to be honest. Like I have to talk to you about getting the logins straightened out because
He's getting the Connor Evers treatment. I know you weren't there, Ian, but Connor he couldn't log into this thing for shit.
Hey, like the Wi-Fi, I'm struggling to communicate here
Yeah.
and figure out what's going on. What's my team? You can tell me. I have no idea. I have no idea who's on.
So
my
wait,
team.
you weren't in there at all?
I had to work on Sunday night. We had a game.
I know. But your team, I know you probably hit auto draft, but like your team was making picks like right away and then sometimes not right away. So it was very weird. It almost was like, oh, maybe you're seeing for notifications. Yeah, I like this guy. Yeah, I like that guy. So okay. Fair enough.
All right. So Ian McNaughton.
I could have Thatcher Demko on my team. I have no idea.
I'll tell you right now, you don't, because Jeff
Okay.
stole Demko from me.
So
Okay.
Ian McNaughton has Nathan McKinnon, just
Oh
signed,
hell yeah!
becoming the highest paid player in NHL history. Artemi Panarin,
Oh sweet.
Sebastian Aho,
Okay.
Timo Meyer,
Okay.
Jack Eichel,
All right.
Jason Robertson,
He needs a contract, but yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Victor Hedman,
Oh sweet.
Owen Power,
Okay.
Evan Bouchard,
Okay.
Seth Jones. And
I don't like
then
that.
your bench is Matt Zuccarello, Brock Besser, Jake Sanderson. And this is where it might get a little dicey. You got Jeremy Swayman, Spencer Knight, and Logan Thompson as your goalies.
You know what? We'll figure it out. I like the top guys.
Your
I feel
team
like
is actually, if Jason Robertson gets a contract, your starting forwards are disgusting.
Yeah. No, auto draft saved me. I did good. I'm happy with that.
Where did Ian rank again on like
I can't
our
remember.
rankings? I know I ranked top, so that's all I'm saying.
I think Ian was middle of the pack, but I can't remember.
Could be middle, yeah.
Can I
All
also
we
be
know.
honest?
Oh yeah. Sorry, Ian.
So not to expose Scott here, but friend of my pod, SYP creator Scott, he sent me his fantasy team, and he's like, "Hey, what do you think?" And I didn't have the balls to say it sucked, but I did say, "Ah, your defense looks good." Like
Fuck.
it was, like it was. I want to see if I can pull it up here. I hope he's not listening.
No, I'm gonna cut this clip and post it on Instagram and tag him.
Yeah. Andrei Svechnikov, Tim Stutzla, Drake Batherson, Alex Tuck, Vincent Trocheck, Joel Eriksson Ek, Nikolai Ehlers, Jamie Benn, Sam Bennett is his forwards. His D is Cale Makar, Sider, Nurse, Shabbat, Power, Drysdale, bench, Provorov, Marcus Foligno. His goalies are at least Markstrom, Gorgiev, and Gibson. So actually his goalies aren't bad, but
those forwards are
those forwards were actually fucking. I don't know any of those forwards. Like when you were reading them off, Ian, I was like, who the fuck are these guys?
He is in a league that counts hits and shot blocks at 0.5 points each.
Hits are different. I was like, why does Marcus Foligno have any spot on any roster?
Yeah, why? Yeah. Anyway, no. Point is that Scott, I did not have the balls to say his team sucked, but that was a list of dudes that did not deserve much fantasy consideration, if we're being honest.
I was playing against Georgia, and babe, if you're listening to this, even though I know you're not, she had Luke Shen in her queue, and I'm like, honey, why are you doing this? She's like, he's cute, and I'm like, babe, take him out now. She's like, why? And I'm like, he is trash for fantasy. He's a great locker room guy, right? He's a great shower guy.
Real glue guy.
Yeah, he's a glue guy. Keeps the team together, keeps everything on a positive note. But when it comes to fantasy, he's gonna be bottom tier, like below bottom tier. So, and I saw that, and I'm like, sweetheart, I know I'm playing against you, but I'm not letting you do this because you will get trashed. Like you will get ridiculed and chirped if you pick Luke Shen at any moment.
That's where you gotta let her, pick Luke Shen and let her learn from her mistakes.
Yeah, I couldn't witness it happen.
You couldn't feel. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, you can, on good conscience, on a good faith, let that happen.
Yeah. All right, boys, let's kickstart this. Ian McNaughton as a guest and friend of the show. What conference and specifically what division do you want to start in?
I want to start, a little bit biased here, but I do think it's going to be fun, is the Atlantic Division.
All right. I wonder why. Can't put a finger on it, but
is it for my love of the Ottawa Senators? No, it is not because of my love of the Ottawa Senators. No.
because you want to talk about how suspect the Toronto Maple Leafs gold tandem is. But
Yes.
we will. Do you want to go team by team or give a broad opinion on the division? We don't
I
have to
mean,
go too in.
I'll go broad here. Like I think that division more or less won't change a whole lot. Like I think we more or less know who the top 4 teams are.
Yeah, I think
Uh
so too.
I mean, depends on how you feel about Toronto's goaltending. I know people feel differently about Boston. I know people are going to feel different about Florida, but it's still going to be a dogfight in that division.
Yeah.
Regardless of how you feel about it, it's still going to be a dogfight. And maybe Ottawa sneaks in as a wild card. Maybe Detroit. Like I think it's just a fascinating division in terms of all the turnover that's happened. Yet I think the top teams are still the top teams, and it's going to be a fight to get into play. It's going to be a knife fight to get into playoff spots.
Yeah, I agree. And Boston, I have like a few. I have like 3 points listed, 3 to 4. Some teams have 4, but I have 3 to 4 points for every single team. And for Boston, I just have injuries because Marchand and McAvoy aren't going to be back until late November. Um, Taylor Hall is week to week, and Matt Grzelcyk I think is going to be out the longest. He might be out like close to 6 months.
Yeah,
And like those are 3 like massive pieces. Like Grzelcyk is a huge top 4 defenseman for them. Charlie McAvoy is like top 6, top 7 defenseman in the league. You can even argue top 5. Yeah, he's not flashing on the offensive end, but he's great all around. And then Brad Marchand is one of the best left wingers in hockey, right? But they also got Krejci and Bergeron back for at least a year, from what we know. The future, we'll see what happens. I just have them as the most interesting team going into this year because there's so much like I think they have solid defense. I think their goaltending is solid as well. I like Swayman. I think he's like in the same tier as Ottinger, where like he could develop at a really fast rate and become one of the better goalies in the league. It's just let's see how he does after a solid year. And then their forward depth, once they do get like fully healthy, they could be really good. It's just a matter of like, will they be able to keep up with their injuries until everything gets back to healthy?
it's like Pittsburgh of just running. Like we're putting the band back together. We're
Yeah.
gonna put the band back together for another year. We'll see how it goes. And as someone who drafted Jeremy Swayman in fantasy hockey, I love Jeremy Swayman. I think he's great. I've never said anything bad about him. No, I like that. Like, and don't the Bruins feel like a team though that will just like they'll be in a play like injuries aside, they'll just be in the playoff hunt come April.
Yeah.
Like they'll find a way. They're the Boston Bruins. They just find a way to just get in and be the most menacing, tough team that nobody wants to play against.
Yeah. It's like you said, Ian, it's going to be a dogfight. But Hayden, do you have any like just on the Atlantic Division in general, not even like Boston, like no, it doesn't have to be team specific, but like Atlantic Division in general, is there any like is there a team you're focusing on? Do you have an eye on like any sort of storyline? Do you have an X factor? Like what's your thoughts on the Atlantic Division going into this year?
I'm looking at the Atlantic Division right now, and I'm reading their names, and 2 teams that kind of spark my interest, that weren't necessarily in the mix last year, are in fact Ian's Red Wings. In fact, I might be high on their head coach and the Senators, man. Like the Senators had a great off season, and I like those 2 teams as kind of mixing it up a little bit, kind of getting into the mix, maybe kicking off, uh, in my opinion, the Bruins and maybe even the Panthers. Like, it's hard. Obviously, it's hard to say. There's so many fucking games in a season. Injuries will come and go. Can't wait for my fantasy team to just be decimated. I'm not exactly sure how many people I have from the Atlantic Division, but it's yeah, this could be one of the most interesting divisions, I think.
Yeah, I think there can be a lot of it could be like a revolving door of teams in a playoff spot.
It could, yeah. It literally could change like every week. You'll have like a team that's up by 3 wins or by
Yeah.
3 points, and then the next week they'll be down one. And it's like, how the fuck did this happen?
Yeah, and like I think divisional matchups are going to be more important than any other division.
100%.
Um just because Hayden, like you said, I think Detroit and Ottawa can make at least like be the Detroit Lions in the NFL. Maybe they will be in the playoffs. Maybe they won't even be close, but they will make all their games way more interesting. And I think Ottawa has a better chance of getting into the playoffs than Detroit does. But I still think they're teams that like will just wreak havoc on what are considered the big boys of the Atlantic Division. And obviously you got teams like Tampa Bay where I don't see anything changing with them until like John Cooper goes or Vasilevsky's out for the entire year. I don't see them slowing down or like any of their narratives changing.
Mm-hmm.
But I really think like Ottawa and Detroit can give teams like Toronto just a really hard time because if Toronto's coming out with the fucking headlines that Marner's going to be playing defense, what are we doing here? Like, that's their way of getting a right shot defenseman is putting their best forward or one of their best forwards back on D. And their goalie tandem is very, like I said at the beginning, very suspect. Like, how will Matt Murray and Ilya Samsonov fare? Because it just seems like they got two B level goalies, like two backups battling
Mm-hmm.
for, it's not really a 1A, 1B, it's a 2A, 2B, right?
Yeah.
And will they be able to? I think they're going to be a playoff team, but like, will they be able to, sustain that going into the playoffs, right? Ian, what do you think about that?
I I there's part of me who really wants there's part of me that does want the Maple Leafs to do well because it is really cool seeing Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner and John Tavares and all those guys do what they do because we have not seen that. Like the level of production from those guys is incredible. On the other hand, it's almost a war crime to pair those guys with Matt Murray and Ilya Samsonov as your starting goalies.
Yeah.
That feels kind of illegal, but it it also is what you do when they're taking up a large chunk of your salary cap. It
Yeah.
just is. Toronto should make the playoffs. I'm a little concerned about them on the back side of things, even like getting down in the defense. Like if their defense core gets injured for whatever reason, it's a bit of an older D core. If they get injured, yeah, little concerning. Um, Concerned with the goaltending. I I don't know if I'm concerned enough to say that Ottawa or Detroit are gonna like overtake them for a playoff spot. Same with Boston. I'm not sure that I'm concerned enough about the Bruins to say that they aren't gonna make the playoffs, but it's concerning. I am
Yeah.
worried.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a thing to take into account. And even like, yeah, I just think I think Buffalo, Montreal, they're gonna be maybe like league pass teams where like they might be fun to like watch, especially with the full season with St. Louis and Caulfield. Like, I hope Caulfield just tears it up this year, but I don't think they're gonna make any noise when it comes to the playoff race. But they might just be fun to watch.
Montreal is definitely going to be a good hockey night in Canada Saturday night. Have a beer and watch. I feel like there's going to be a lot of 5-4 games that they're on the losing end of, but it's at least going
Yeah,
to be entertaining.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
the vibe. That's the vibe I get with Montreal.
No, I totally agree with that. And Caulfield looks more and more electric every time I see him.
Yeah.
He looks way more confident. It seems like St. Louis is getting to him, which is something Ducharme couldn't do. Fuck, he sent him down to the A. Like, and then comes back St. Louis coach and Caulfield's like rookie of the year numbers in terms of points per game. So overall, I'm asking both of you guys. I'll let Hayden go first. If you had to put an X factor on this division, kind of like we did with the NFL preview, if you had to put an X factor on the Atlantic Division, just whatever storyline this X factor plays into, what do you think is the biggest one going into this year?
Oh man. The X factor for this division, I say I don't want to be that stalemate and say, is it the Leafs getting over that first round hump? Even though you could come back to the same well, there's still going to be water in that well. Um, the Red Wings, honestly, like the Red Wings. What is going to make them, I feel, as a competitor, and maybe even the Bruins. Are the Bruins finally, like, I know you guys are talking about them making the playoffs, but like, what if they don't make the playoffs? What if they're not the big tough team that one team's gonna have to go through near the end of the time when it's starting to come towards, getting into seven game hockey.
Yeah.
I think that's my X factor is just the uncertainty I feel with the Bruins and the uncertainty I feel with the Red Wings, but going in two different directions.
That's fair. Ian, what about you?
I want to say the Florida Panthers, and I can't decide which group of the Panthers. I'm going to say forwards because they made a big change getting rid of Huberto. Um, you know, Florida had their best year ever last year, just best year points
Yeah.
wise, and they moved away from it. They traded for Matthew Tkachuk, who's a guy I really love, a guy I really like, a contrasting player from Jonathan Huberdeau. But now with the Panthers, it's kind of like, are they better than they were a year ago? And I don't think Florida is. I don't think Florida is going to be putting up 110 points or whatever they put up last year. I just don't see them doing that. I don't think they're scoring as many goals as they did last year. I don't think they're winning as many one goal games as they did last year. I just don't see the Panthers being as competitive this year as they were last year. And I think that's going to impact this division. That's going to be a real game changer as to if the Panthers not only may not be a top 3 team, are they going to even finish in the wild card? That's that could be the difference between somebody making it and somebody missing it. It's just Florida not being the 110 point team they were last season.
No, that's totally fair. I think Florida's gonna be a team to like pay attention to because they didn't just lose like Huberto and Uyghur. They lost the depth pieces like Marchment, and Duclair's gonna be out for a while with an Achilles injury, right? So a lot of their depth scoring isn't coming back. And I think that's gonna play into how this Atlantic Division plays out, especially Florida specifically. And I think Kachuk brings more overall to the game than Huberto does. He might not be as high flying on offense, but he's still like 100-point guy. Like he's put up those numbers. I think Kachuk can be like a 90-point guy on Florida, but they lost a bit more depth on defense. And I think that could impact how Bobrovsky and Spencer Knight plays.
That's a great point, by the way. I just wanted to pull up Florida's cap friendly and their defense right now as we record this. Aaron Ekblad, Brandon Montour, Gustav Forsling, Radko Gudas, Lucas Carlson, and the everlasting gobstopper Mark Stahl of just taking up a defensive spot that doesn't need to be taken up. That's Florida's top 6. That's their 6 right now, according to Cap Friendly.
And
Good luck.
I think Montour, a lot of his years were like a product of a bad team because he was spent some tough years in Buffalo. But there are some definitely uncertainties with him. I think Forsling is an uncertainty too because we have to see how he breaks into that top 4, and even maybe pairing with Ekblad. Gudas is just he's a beast.
Former Everett Silvertip.
Shout out. But yeah, Florida's definitely an interesting team. I still think they're a playoff team, but I just don't think they're going to be that high flying offense we see like last year. My X factor, I think it's no doubt Toronto's goaltending. Can they stop the puck? Because if they can't, then Toronto's in trouble. Because Matthews can score 60 goals, but if they're going to be in like letting in 4 goals a game, like Toronto's just going to need to figure something out. Like trade picks and prospects for like a Semyon Varlamov who can actually like be stable back there. Right? Like just trade for something, because if you're going to want to go over the hump and not only just get past the first round but have cup aspirations like their fans always say every single year, like you're going to need to figure, like you can't have Matt Murray. He's not that guy like he was in 2016 or 2018, wherever the fuck they won the cup. Like they're gonna need to figure it out. And I don't know if this is the goalie tandem. Like I think he might have a bounce back season. Like he'll be better than he was on Ottawa, but I don't think he's. We'll see. But that's my X factors. If they can get 2016 Matt Murray, then they could be dangerous. But I just don't think that's the case anymore. So we'll see though. We'll see. We'll flip over to the Metro, which I think might be the best division in hockey. Who I once gave it to the Central, but then Winnipeg went off the wrong side of the cliff, and Chicago is just not even a team anymore. And also Arizona joined the Central, so wah wah. But the Metro, yeah, Arizona really took the average down, really deflated the GPA, if you know what I'm saying. Hayden, the Metro Division. Looking over it, you got Carolina adding depth, Goudreau going to Columbus, Barzal re-signing, extending his time in New York.
Congratulations.
There's a lot of different ways you can go in this direction. Philly is clearly trying to get Bedard on their team next year. But what do you look at, or what do you see when you look at the Metro Division as a whole?
Man, I see, let's see how many. I see out of 8 teams, like 7 of them could be somewhat contending in every which way. And honestly, this speaks to me like it does with the Atlantic division, how some of the top teams can be switching in and out week by week.
Yeah.
Man, like the Rangers might have, goalie of the year. The Jackets, I feel like a lot of people are overlooking Columbus. I feel like Goudreau could really be like a key piece, and then the Penguins, like, and Washington have two of like the longest tenure players ever on their teams.
Yeah.
And you can never count those two out. This division, man, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Ian, what catches your attention when you look at the Metro Division?
There's so many good teams. I'm inclined to say that the Metro's booming, but it's kind of cliche. I'm curious. There's we talked a little bit about it with the last division. A lot of teams running it back, like Lou Lamoriello literally didn't do anything. He's like, you know what? I'm going to take the summer off. I don't want to work this summer.
Yeah.
I'm just going to bring everybody back, and we'll see how it goes.
I'm going to throw our name in the mix on every big free agent possible and every big trade, and then just let my fans down.
That's his work, was like placing phone calls, not signing contracts, just like, hey, let me put in a phone call. That's the
Like, guys, I tried. I put in phone calls. I just couldn't make it happen.
Lou Lamoriello, the old man, still thinks that long distance, calling is like a serious, impactful thing. It's like, bro, you're working an NHL team.
He still
You can-
send in his contracts and envelopes via birds.
Yeah, it's
to-
little carrier pigeons.
yeah, carrier
Uh,
pigeons instead of email or fax.
Fuck, I was gonna
Uh,
say fax, thinking that was kind of old.
That's why it's taken so long. That's why he never gets them signed, is because the pigeons are still on their one-way ticket to the free agents.
Oh damn! I would have signed there.
he doesn't even have like tracker chips in a pigeon. Like he just like sets the pigeon off. It's like, all right, to Edmonton.
Yeah.
And, like,
It dies like a minute into its trip.
yeah,
by
he doesn't, but he
being
doesn't know
eaten.
that it's just a carrier pigeon. He just thought he was sending an offer. No, like the Islanders could be good. I don't know. Pittsburgh is running it back. Washington's running it back. I like here's the thing. Everybody in that division, thinks they have a good team. Nobody really needs to make too significant of changes outside. I think like Washington got Darcy Kemper. The Rangers and the Hurricanes haven't really done a whole lot. The Flyers are just, if you're not going to be good, at least be entertaining. They're going to
Yeah.
be a shit show, and that's what the Flyers are. But I think more or less, even the Devils, they're like the Devils think they have a good team. Yeah, they should be, they should be all right. But most teams just like, yeah, we think we're good enough and we think we can compete, and they're just going to go and run it back.
You're clearly leaving out a vital part of this division. Yaroslav Halak is on the Rangers now. So I think the Rangers might have the greatest season ever.
Are we sure about that?
Are you sure about that?
This is a classic, big brain GM move of like Halak has failed in his last two locations, and it's like, yeah, surely we're the team that's gonna change. Like, surely he won't fail in New York.
Yeah,
It's like,
surely
he
Big
might.
team market,
Yeah,
the Big Apple.
yeah, like you see this with guys like fucking not not to bring him up, but like Antonio Brown, where like Antonio Brown got like 2 extra opportunities that he didn't deserve because people were like, yeah, it's gonna work, and it did, I guess, in Tampa, but like also he flamed out, like also he just left, he was done, and like
yeah.
it not to say that Halak is like Antonio Brown, but in a way, it's just like, yeah, surely this guy won't suck here, and he might. That's the thing, he might.
All right, what are the odds that Halak exposes himself in a pool in Dubai? Come on, show me those odds right now, Ian.
That's boosted on FanDuel. You can parlay that with
Antonio Brown getting signed to a team.
yeah, parlay that for plus 2,500 odds only on FanDuel right now.
And Cooper Cup anytime touchdown.
Well, I was gonna say, and Matthew Stafford actually looking at
Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson, yeah. Make sure you use promo code LeftSideHeavy to tell them we sent you
for a $10 free bet.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
What were we talking about again? Oh yeah, no.
No, it's
something
not
about
Halak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's on the Rangers. Yeah.
Something about hockey. I don't know. Barzal got 8 by 9.15. Do you think that is an overpay? What are your thoughts on the contract?
Sure. I mean, who else were the Islanders going to spend that money on? Anthony Beauvillier? Yeah, right. Okay. Go for it. There is like a 30% part of me that actually thinks the Islanders are going to be like good this year because they don't have the same coach, because they are not playing a Barry Trotz style. Like they actually could be like an offensive juggernaut. The problem is that they have Anthony Beauvillier and like a bunch of other people. Yeah, no, you're all good, bro. Reed Ops guy, him and I are close.
Do I have to mention his name in the feature part of the episode?
I can't remember what his name is either, so probably not.
Featuring Ian McNaughton and Ops guy.
Ops dude. they let me skate here when all the kids are done, so I try to be on his good side. Yeah, no, I think Barzal's cool, and I think good for him.
Yeah.
Again, with all the Islanders need somebody to build around to market to fans. Like, hey, here's a guy that we can build around. Here's a guy that we really like. That's what Matthew Barzal is. Probably a bit of an overpay, but for a star, for a guy you can market, yeah, it's probably probably about right.
And also, I think Barzal was a victim of Barry Trotz's system.
Yeah,
Like, Trotz is a very defensive-minded coach, dump and chase. Like, it's a boring style of hockey. It worked. It got them to 2 Eastern Conference Finals, and they were 1 game away from the Stanley Cup final. But yo, there was this loud ringing in my ear, and it threw me off. Threw me off for a second. But anyways, I think Barzal, I think this contract will work itself out, especially with the cap going up in the next 3 years. Supposed to jump to like 90 million. So I think that this contract will age well. I think Barzal is going to be back to like his rookie year numbers were like around 90 points because the new Islanders coach is supposedly to be more offensive minded. So I don't hate the contract. I think they're signing him for what he's going to be rather than what he is now. If that makes sense.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, I think there's a lot of people don't like the Islanders because they literally didn't do anything, but they could be a wild card team.
Yeah.
Goaltending, they have solid enough defense. They got good goaltending. You know, what if Barzal scores 90 points this year? It could happen.
100%. I think they're going to be in the race all year.
Yeah. That's why I'm not upset with the deal like that. I'm not upset as other people would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goudreau. He is projected to line up with Patty Laine. Laine's rookie year put up 36. Following year, I'm pretty sure he put up around 44. He has soon regressed since then. Do we think he goes back to his old ways? Hayden, I'll one time it over to you. How are we feeling about the Goudreau Laine connection for Columbus going into the season?
Short answer, no. Long term, yes. I think it'll be like any connection that you have to make. It's not just gonna happen like that. And if it does, all the power to them. I don't know if it'll happen this year. But like you gotta give them at least, some playing time.
Yeah.
Because it's so rough. That's like a quarterback getting a brand new wide receiver.
It's like
It could
it's like OBJ and Baker when they first
exactly.
everyone was horned up about that pairing, and then they did legit nothing all year.
Both in Ohio too. I don't know. Something about that just spells bad mystery. But no, I think this could be a good pairing down the line. I don't think we'll see like flashes here and there, but we won't see anything consistent for the first little bit, I think.
That's fair. Ian, what do you think about the Goudreau Laine connection? How do we think it's going to shape itself out?
I mean, Hayden's right. We're probably not gonna see it for quite a bit because I don't know anybody who watches Blue Jackets games. But I think really with Columbus, they'll be good. I like Columbus in the fact that they're building towards something, and we've seen a lot of this in the past of Carolina or New Jersey signing Dougie Hamilton, the Rangers signing Panarin, all these guys signing a big deal, and in anticipation of the team being good. Columbus will be good. They'll figure it out. They got a lot of prospects along the way. I'm not too worried. If the Blue Jackets miss the playoffs this year, it's not the end of the world. They got 8 years to make this work with Goudreau and Laine.
Yeah, that's fair. We're gonna run back another X factor for the Metro. It could be a player, anything. What do we think is the X factor in the Metro division, or what's your favorite X factor at least? Ian, I'll hand it over to you.
I'm gonna say the Carolina Hurricanes goaltending.
Oh, I
because
love that one. I like that a
because,
lot.
because Freddie Anderson was really good last year.
He was
Re-
on his way to being a Vezina candidate until he got hurt.
Till he got hurt. They arguably should have beat the New York Rangers last year,
Up
and
3-1. Yeah, they
except they
should have.
had to put except they had to put in something Kochikov, Peter Kochikov. I can't. I don't even. They had to put in that guy as their goalie in like Game 7, and just like it wasn't meant to be. If
And
they can get the goal,
they forgot that road games mattered.
and yeah, and they forgot that like you have to win games outside of your home arena. It's kind of important. If they have goaltending, really good even not even really good goaltending. Like if they have like average to above average goaltending this year, that's a team that can go to the finals. I don't
Yeah.
see why they can't, because they have everything else surrounding them. They have everything else they need to succeed. That's my X factor in this division.
Yeah, I think that's a really good one because it really impacted them last year.
Yeah.
And um yeah, I just think they need if they want to I think this is a cup or bust year for them. Maybe like not like they're in a like 3-year window where they need to make this work. Because you never know how long Brett Burns got, and Pacioretty can only stay somewhat healthy for so long. If you get him back, like you never know when he's gonna get hurt again. He came back for Vegas for like 3 games and then was out for the rest of the season, right? So Carolina's like they got to take advantage of their elite team this year, and I think
And
goaltending is a big part of it.
and Rod Brindamore is one of the best coaches in the league.
Yeah,
Like you literally have one of the best coaches in the league. It's all there. Figure it out. Put
yeah,
the pieces together.
exactly. Hayden, I'll go over to you. What do you got as an X factor? What's one of your favorite ones at least, if you have a few?
Well, I think my favorite one is just seeing exactly how far Ovi can chip away on this goal record.
I love that.
It's
I think his over under was like 42.5 or like 44.5.
Hell yeah.
Man, that just the under screams so nice, but if it's anything that we've seen, it's gonna be over. Like
Well,
just
and
put
again,
Ovi at the top of the ring, let him
What is
snipe power
what is
plays.
Dr. Pepper in his Gatorade water bottle?
Exactly.
All he needs.
also, can I just say, if you're betting Ovi unders this year, you're lame.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's so
I
lame.
agree.
That is so lame. Like, yeah, no, I don't. I think you might get 40. Not getting like 42.5. No, fuck you. Like that's not even cool, man. Like you're just lame.
Yeah.
I definitely agree, but I just want to see how far Ovi kind of chips away at this. I know there's so many more different X factors, but the one that screams to me is just Ovi has it. Ovi
Yeah.
has it all, and it's only going to be a matter of time before he actually passes that record. And Wayne Gretzky is going to be, wow, this is
Yeah,
fucking incredible.
that's a great storyline to follow. I don't think he needs a goal record to be the greatest goal scorer in NHL history. I think he already is. But I think that storyline of Ovi catching Gretzky is one of the best in sports. My X factor is Malkin for Pittsburgh. He's had trouble staying healthy the past couple years. I think they need him to stay healthy if they want to take advantage of their last few years of this window that they have. Because I know Letang signed on for like what, 6 years? But Malkin only signed for 3. Crosby's like, I'm gonna play 3 years and see where we're at. Like, who the fuck knows where this Pittsburgh team's gonna be even after this season. And so I think Malkin's health is massive because he's like point per game when he's healthy. He's really good and clutch, dynamic. He's great when Crosby's out. It's like he's he has the ability to carry a team. It's just that he can never fucking stay healthy. And me, the idiot, took the risk of taking him in both my leagues this year. I have Malkin. I ran the risk. Mind you, my keeper league, Malkin fell to me in the 6th round. That was when my first pick was in the 6th round because I traded all my picks last year, and Malkin was there. And I'm like, God damn it. I didn't want this to be the position I was in because I was in the same position the night before. And I took him because I'm like, if he stays healthy all year, it's a bargain in the 6th round. But I think that's the main X factor for the Metro is Malkin's health, because that could, I think, impact Pittsburgh's standings on whether they make playoffs or not.
And I can't wait. If Malcolm's injured, I can't wait to see like who the next like Ben McMillan or whoever the fuck random dude comes up from Wilkes-Barre Scranton
Yeah.
and puts up 40 points for the Penguins this year. Like who the fuck was this guy?
Yeah, because
Where's this guy?
Yeah, because now Colorado has Rodriguez, and Rodriguez was that guy last year.
Yeah. So like
career high of like 12 points, and the next thing you know, he gets like 47 or some shit.
getting first line minutes with
The kid.
like playing on Crosby's wing sometimes. Like that's great. That's so cool.
How last thing before we go to our standings, how do we think Washington will fare with Backstrom being hurt for the first bit of the season? Do you think it's going to impact them a lot?
Yeah. It's not great. It's not ideal. It's not what
ideal.
you want.
No.
But do you want to bet against Washington? Like, do you want to bet against? Yeah, like, do you want to bet against Ovi? And I mean, Darcy Kemper is, I think, an upgrade over what they've had in goal. Like, from a team perspective, I think it'll be fine. It's just it hurts losing the player. Like, it hurts losing that guy for a while.
Yeah,
I agree.
All right, Eastern playoffs. We are going to run through our standings. We will do like top 3 in each division, and then our 2 wild cards. And then if you want to sprinkle in like who was going to be in the race for the last spot, I have a few teams for each conference. Shoot them to me, and we'll go from there. Hayden, I'll go to you first. Hit me up with your Eastern Conference playoffs.
So it's the top 3 of each division, and then 2 wild cards, right?
Yeah, and it could be from any division.
Ooh, man. Okay. My top 3 in the Atlantic. I'm gonna have to go Tampa and Toronto, as is tradition, and then Detroit.
Oh,
Yeah.
we got Detroit.
You've made me a fan. You've made me a fan, Ian. You made me a fan of Detroit. And then the Metro. I like the Rangers. I think it's pretty obvious. I also like the Hurricanes, and then I also like the Devils.
Oh, I had my eye on them too, but New Jersey, 2 spicy takes for their 3rd spots in each division there.
And then I also like the Penguins and the Senators.
Okay. So Hayden has Florida missing the playoffs and Washington missing the playoffs.
I think it's going to be a battle between like Ottawa and Florida. And I think Ottawa could do it just because of how much the Panthers have lost this offseason.
That's fair. So who do you have in the race? Do you think Florida's going to be the only real competitive team chasing that last spot?
Florida or Washington?
That's fair.
Like it's such of a toss up, but yeah, if I had to go with one, it'd probably be Florida. Just because they've shown promise.
Yeah. That's fair. All right, Ian. What are your Eastern Conference playoffs looking like?
So in the Atlantic, I have Tampa Bay, Toronto, and Boston.
All right.
In the Metro, I have the Rangers, the Hurricanes, and the Capitals.
Okay.
And my 2 wild card teams, I'm going to go with Florida as my first wild card team.
All right.
And I'm going to go with Pittsburgh as my second wild card team. It's kind of chalk, but it also like depends on where those teams finish.
Yeah, 100%.
If Hayden wasn't gonna pick Detroit, I probably would have just gone full bias and thrown the Red Wings in, but I'm glad somebody did.
And
You're
who
welcome.
do you think is going to be competing for that last playoff spot?
Because I mean, I got Pittsburgh. You know who I want to say even Buffalo. Like give a little
Ooh.
sprinkle. I want to give a little sprinkle of love to the Sabres. I don't trust their goaltending, but I do like there is a thing of like that it ended well for them last year. Like the vibes feel good with the Sabres that I kind of want to shout them out and respect that if they can carry that on through the rest of this year. I don't think Tage Thompson's that good. I think he's gonna have a regression season, but I kind of want to see the Sabres be in the hunt. I think the Sabres I think will be in the hunt in the final month of the season. There's my hot take. They'll be like within 5 points entering the final month of the season.
I love that.
Hot.
All right. My Atlantic goes like this: Tampa, Toronto, Florida. I think Florida secures that top 3. I got the Rangers, Carolina, and Pittsburgh in the Metro. So all 3 of us have the same top 2 in each division. And then my wild card is Boston's taking the first one, Washington's taking the second one. And my team that's going to be in the race is the Islanders and Ottawa. I think they're going to be dueling, or at least going to be in contention with Washington for that last spot. But I think Boston's going to have it secured. But I think the Islanders are going to give Washington a tough time. And then Ottawa might come for the party for like 15 minutes and then dip out. Like, oh, I showed up. You going to buy me a beer? Okay, I asked you, got to go. And then they might just might not be able to last with them. But that's who I got in my Eastern Conference. So, Hayden's got Tampa, Toronto, Detroit in the Atlantic, the Rangers, Carolina, and the Devils in the Metro, with Pittsburgh and Ottawa taking his wild card spots. I love that playoff picture. That'd be so much fun.
It's
Ian,
different.
It's different. I fucking respect the shit out of it.
It is. Hayden's probably going to be right compared to us. Hayden's
yeah. I respect it. Ian's got Tampa, Toronto, Boston, the Rangers, Carolina, and Washington, with Florida and Pittsburgh taking up the wild card spots, with Buffalo battling for the last spot. And then I got Tampa, Toronto, Florida, Carolina, New York, Pittsburgh. Or no, New York, Carolina, Pittsburgh, and then Boston and Washington. All right, that's our Eastern Conference. Let's kick it over to the Central Division in the Western Conference here, because of course we got to finish it off with the best coast, the Pacific for last.
All right, G-Easy, calm down.
The left coast,
No, that's Blueface line. Sorry, that's my bad.
All right, so we'll get this team out of the way. ASU, Arizona, the home of the Kachina. Basically all I have for them is, will they trade Chikrin and is it Bedard season? Because I think both are true, but Chikrin is going to be a wild card because there are some St. Louis and Ottawa I've heard are the 2 teams really pushing for Chikrin, but they just don't seem to fucking move him, and I hope they do so I can just stop hearing the fucking Puck Empire posts on how many teams are interested in Jacob Chikrin.
Didn't somebody? I feel like somebody tweeted like over the week. I swear I saw something over the weekend of like sources say rumor has it that the Coyotes willing to trade Chikrin, to a good team for for a bunch of assets or like some stupid thing. It's like, no shit, dumbass. I could have told you that. I could have told you the Coyotes are interested in trading Jacob Chikrin for a bunch of assets. Yeah, I would. Why wouldn't you?
The Coyotes are interested in trading Jacob Chikrin to Edmonton for Connor McDavid. Like, yeah.
You don't say, actually.
Like, interested in trading him to Toronto for Matthews and Marner. You don't say. Really?
course they'd
What
be
are the
interested in that.
what are the odds?
Yeah, I saw this post and it was like NBA free agency and it was like J.R. Smith has agreed to sign with the Lakers.
The Lakers have
Because
not.
the Lakers have not agreed.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like
yeah.
no shit he
What?
would agree to sign to play with LeBron, but doesn't mean the Lakers will want to agree with that. But yeah, that's all I got on Arizona. They're gonna be a dumpster fire this year. And I think the next team, Chicago, as well. I think their only interesting storyline with them is Patrick Kane and Taves gonna get traded?
I think they should trade Taves to Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Man, that would be
I think
so
that'd be
sad.
hilarious.
Why would that be hilarious?
Oh, Jonathan Taves, you want to play for a winner? Well, here are the Winnipeg Jets.
They got win in their name, so they
That's
must be
some sort of
winners.
winner.
Yeah.
I, yeah, I could care less about the Blackhawks, but I actually think the Coyotes are more entertaining than the Blackhawks.
Oh, 100%.
Just in terms of just like, here's some dudes.
And they're gonna be playing at ASU, dude. That atmosphere is gonna be packed. It's gonna
Yeah.
be a great time.
They also don't have a racist name.
True.
Also true. That goes a long ways.
And Arizona has the best jerseys in the league, so they also got that
Debatable.
going for them.
Very debatable.
No, it's clear cut, buddy. Clear cut. But other than those teams, because I think the rest actually have some decent storylines. What do you guys look at when you look at the Central? In my opinion, the formerly best division in the league. Because there was a point where every single team in this division was like pretty competitive. Yes, even Arizona, when they had like Taylor Hall, Darcy Kemper, Phil Kessel, like they were actually pretty competitive at one point. So I think this division has gone downhill in the past few years. But what do you guys look at when you see the Central Division?
The Avalanche and Predators.
I was gonna say, is anybody besides Colorado good?
Yes.
I mean, like,
I should good. I should say not good, but like, can anybody like
make
a
it
run?
past them.
Yeah, like can anybody make it outside of the first round besides Colorado? And obviously somebody will make it out of the first round because of how the playoff format is. But like,
I think the
I
Predators could.
I don't know if it's a spicy take for you guys, but I have one.
Let's hear it.
I think the St. Louis Blues can make a run at this division.
I said that last year. And
Yeah,
like,
Ian
I
was
think,
really hot on the Blues last year. I remember listening to some of the episodes on Speak Your Piece.
I like the Blues, and then they got worse this offseason. I don't know, man.
I got
You
a
can,
I got a funky feeling about them this year.
you know what, Jevin? I will sell you my Blues stock right now, and you can have it. I don't. I'm good. I don't. The problem is that I just like I want the Blue. Like the Blues seem like they could be a team that could do really well in the playoffs. They
Yeah.
have the making of a team that could do well in the playoffs, but do we know who their goalie is besides Bennington, their backup goalie?
I remember
Tell
seeing
you.
it. I remember seeing it earlier. But I don't think it's anyone notable.
Vadim Zarenko.
Never mind, it's no one notable.
Yeah, no.
Or
That's
Joel Hofer.
Oh, Joel Hofer, former Portland Winterhawk. Yeah, no, listen, yeah, I'm not sold on the Blues.
That's fair.
Damn. Ian is out on the Blues. PSA.
What's good with Jason Robertson? So, Dallas Stars owner has come out and said he doesn't like paying the young guys when Jason Robertson has had 3 good years in the NHL and totally deserves a good contract, and he just won't get paid that, which doesn't make any fucking sense to me. But what are your opinions on this whole Jason Robertson dilemma, and do you think he's gonna get traded? Ian,
I don't think
I'll throw it over to you.
I don't think he'll get traded, but there'll be some sort of bridge deal that they'll like whatever, 3 years, 6 million. He'll get, 6 million a year for 3 years. They'll figure it out.
I want to say that, but like this Dallas owner is so fucking stubborn that like he doesn't want to move off the rock that he doesn't like paying young guys.
All right, well then maybe don't pay Tyler Sagan and Jamie Benn all that fucking money, huh? All right,
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry you don't like paying good players. You're too busy paying bad players. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I've no idea. Robertson's been like a 70-point guy ever since he's come into the league. And now he's just not going to get what the money I think he deserves because he's proven enough, I think. He's proven enough. He's been the best player on the team the past 3 years. And now he just won't get any of the money that he should get. He should already have. The fact that he's still in a contract dispute amazes me.
It's
But
October. Like, it's literally October, and like one of the best like star players, and one of the top, could I say top 30, top 20 wingers maybe in hockey right now,
yeah,
doesn't have a contract.
which is just laugh
Doesn't
out
have
loud
any.
funny to me, which doesn't make any sense.
It's so NHL and it's so hockey. I'm just like, yeah, no, one of our star players who we'd love to be able to market, and he's playing on a Sunbelt team. Yeah, he doesn't have a contract because owner doesn't want to pay him. It's so cool,
It's like,
so fun.
all right. Okay, I guess. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. But what is some storylines, or I guess we'll go to this first. Blake Wheeler is no longer the captain of Winnipeg. I haven't touched on that yet. But what are our thoughts on him getting stripped of the captaincy? I think this is just like a kind of changing the culture for the team. I think they want to go in a different direction sometime soon. But what do we think about Blake Wheeler no longer being captain? Hey, no,
Maybe just a hey man, you're getting kind of old, bro. Like, you ever thought about maybe retiring? Like,
or we might trade you
that too.
to like a
I
better
mean,
team.
at the age of 36 though, like what else are you gonna be other than a depth guy or a locker room guy? You're not really bringing anything. You're kind of like that apprentice, like that old apprentice that doesn't really want to go to school.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I did my first year. Now I make enough money. Where it's like, if I went to school for like another 6 weeks, yeah, I could be making $8 more, but I don't need to. So, yeah, maybe you should just leave then.
Yeah.
Like maybe just don't be here.
Yeah. It's I think it's just kind of like a San Jose type of thing, like just changing the captains just to kind of maybe change the narrative around the team, the culture, whatever, try to shift it in a different direction, go captainless for a few seasons maybe. But I don't I don't know. I just didn't it was all right. I was like, okay, he's no longer captain.
Can I just say for Winnipeg, like, if I had to do like a graph or like a chart of like 4 quadrants of like good and good and entertaining, bad but entertaining, bad and not entertaining. Winnipeg is like at the very far bottom left quadrant of like bad and not entertaining. There is nothing exciting about the Jets.
Yes.
They hired a boring coach. They have a boring team. I think they could arguably be the worst team in the NHL this year. They could like unintentionally finish worse in the league.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that at some point
It,
the conversation of blowing it up is going to intensify.
it should have already been done. Like, they should have
I
just done it this.
agree.
They should have just done it this summer, but like they didn't.
I 100% agree. I think it's already should have happened, but I think those talks are going to get even like stronger, and I think it will happen within the later half of the season. I think they'll start just trading. Shifley should be gone. I think he just needs a change of scenery. He could still be like a good player. He just needs a new place to play. Wheeler, I think he's just on the back nine. He's on the back six of his career. Kyle Connor. Are you gonna say give another take for Kyle Connor? How many goals is he scoring this year? Is he gonna
Like,
score 50
like
this year?
no, he's gonna score like 12. That team sucks. He's gonna have nobody passing him the puck. I they yeah that they should just trade everybody and start over. They should trade Andrew Ladd again just to intensify how much of a teardown this is, just to really set the tone. I hate I This team sucks. I don't. We've spent too much. This is like talking about the Minnesota Vikings. We've spent too much time talking about this team.
That's perfect. But I want to talk about Colorado for a bit because Ian, what are your thoughts on the? Have I got your thoughts on the McKinnon contract?
No, because I mean, I don't because wasn't isn't he like signed for like an extra like 100 grand more than McDavid? Isn't that the deal with it? Like he's like he basically like
4.6.
he basically like McDavid bid 400 and Price is Right, and McKinnon went 401. Like that's
Yeah.
essentially what he did, and it's just like fuck you, man. That's not cool. But no, he's Nathan McKinnon. He's like one of the top 3 players in the league. Like yeah, he's getting what he deserves. I think that's a deal you sign, right? If you're the Avs, if you're McKinnon, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I also wanted to talk about Nazem Kadri. He's a Calgary Flame now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions. I think Colorado, I think they're going to be just as good this year. I don't think there's going to be any problems with it because I think there were some players that, given a bigger role, they could produce to maybe not an 80-point clip like Kadri gave them, but I think each player given a bigger role can just contribute more, which can equal out the same pretty much. But Alex Newhook, he's in line to be the 2C. And he's one of the more underrated, fun players to watch because he brings a lot of electricity to the game. And how do we think he's going to fare as the second line center as he's projected right now for Colorado?
I'm excited. I saw Newhook a couple times when he was with the Victoria Grizzlies. So we're shouting out, BCHL. We're shouting out Junior A hockey too.
Shout out.
Shout out. I like him. I think it's a good fit. Again, good teams just find the guys to replace the guys like Colorado's so good. They have guys eternally. Like it's not a big
Yeah.
deal. They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
They're not stressed. Joe Sakic's not worried. He's not panicking. Jared Bednar's not concerned. Like they got their guy. I think they'll be fine.
Hayden, what about you? How do you think do you think losing Kadri is gonna make this team worried at all in any way?
When you first just asked this, I was kind of like, oh yeah, maybe. But you know what? Ian just reassured me. No, I don't think so at all. Like Joe Sakic won the GM of the Year award for a reason, and I don't think that it's gonna stop him just losing one player. Like yeah, Kadri was a big he was like a big key piece, not just even on the ice, but like storyline. I know all the storylines weren't that good, coming out of just the bad racial comments that were made against him, but like he had some pretty good news around him, and I feel like it boosted, kind of morale. But no, I think the Avalanche will be just fine.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, we'll go to the Pacific Division. And I think this is a pretty underrated division in my opinion. I think there could be a lot of good playoff races. Obviously, I think San Jose is in the dirt of the Pacific. There's always one team in the dirt of every division. And I think San Jose is that team for the Pacific. Anaheim's got a little bit more entertainment to their team with McTavish and Zegras. I don't think they're going to be. They might be like the New York Jets after getting Zach Wilson, if that makes sense. There's a lot of pieces added to the Jets where it's it made them exciting, but they still sucked. Anaheim might be that. And then I
Who,
think
I was gonna say, who's the Zach Wilson on the Ducks? Is that Mason McTavish? It's Mason McTavish. Actually, he kind of looks like it's Mason McTavish, the next young gravy of the NHL.
I
Kind of looks like it.
think he might. I mean, he does look 30 fucking 2. He does not look like he's 19 years old or whatever he is.
Oh yeah, no, he's younger than me, and dude looks like he's got a full head of hair, full beard. Like I could never.
Yeah. He looks like he's a vet in the league right now, but he's a rookie. But Hayden, what are your thoughts on the Pacific Division? There's a lot of turnover in different teams. Some key pieces added and lost to some teams, but what are your thoughts on the Pacific Division?
I think of all divisions, I think the Pacific could be the worst division. Hot take, maybe, but like, I don't think the Flames are going to be as offensively. They weren't even really. Well, no, they were offensively firepowered. They had 300 points. For like one line, that's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, can't ask for much better than that.
No, you really can't. I think the Oilers are gonna do kind of relatively the same. Maybe pull off a couple wins more than they should have because of goaltending, but like, the Knights, the Kraken, the Sharks, Stinky, the Kings, and the Ducks, Even though I kind of like the Ducks' direction on where they're going, and obviously the hometown Canucks, I like their direction, and I think Demko's a top 10, arguably top 5 goalie when he's on. So it's just, yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Pacific Division, like, it could be just the top 3 teams in the Pacific just make it to the playoffs.
Fair. Interesting.
Yeah.
Ian, what are your opinions on this division? What kind of sparks your interest?
What sparks my interest in the Pacific? Well, I've been talking about this team for like the last 3 years, so I'm gonna say the LA Kings. They need to figure out a real, like, long-term goaltending situation because
Yeah.
I don't think Jonathan Quick is that, and I don't think Cal Peterson, who I believe is starting his extension this season, I don't know if he's the guy. I don't know if he's got that dog in him to be that full-time starter that they're looking for. Edmonton, I think I want to like the Oilers, but they just do so many stupid things, like, you know, signing Darnell Nurse to an extension, giving Evander Kane a place to play, giving Jake Virtanen a PTO. All that stupid. I'm kind of like drinking the Kraken Kool-Aid a little bit, maybe because I'm here
Okay.
maybe because I'm in the Pacific Northwest, like Seattle area now. I'm kind of drinking it a little bit. You know, you got 2 centers. I think the goaltending will be better than it was last year. I like Bjorkstrand.
I think Seattle had one of the better off seasons in the NHL.
It really could not have been any, like, with compared to how their season ended last year, it really could not have got any worse than what it was last year.
Yeah.
Like the vibes feel better too. That's the thing about the Kraken, is like the vibes feel better. Like people feel better about the Kraken now than like 6 months ago.
Yeah. No,
Which helps.
100%. I think they got a lot deeper forward core. I think Justin Schultz, being like in the top 4 of the defense in their D core, I think can help them a lot, especially on like power play and everything. Grubauer just has to play relatively good because he did not play good last year. He is probably one of the worst starting goalies in the NHL. And
him and Drieger too. Like Drieger,
yeah,
and I know Drieger was injured for a bit, but like Seattle spent, I want to say, like close to like 10 million in goaltending last year, and it flopped. Like it was a major
yeah,
flop. Like it was bad. It was not good, and just because of how, regressing to the not even regressing to the mean, but like getting back to the mean. And they have a new goalie. I believe Sean Burke is their new goalie coach. Like now I'm
Yeah.
really diving into the deep end of it, but like they really like the goaltending should be better for the Kraken this year.
Yeah. Let's hope so. Because, I mean, I don't really care. Because as a Canucks fan, I want them to, like, do much better than the Kraken. But Grubauer, if Seattle wants to show any sign of competence or even being competitive, they need good goaltending because they just did not get it last year. I want LA. What's gonna happen with Quentin Byfield? Ian, I'll go to
Like
you because
like
he was like some people were saying he would be better than Lafreniere. And mind you, Alexei Lafreniere hasn't been great either, but Quentin Byfield is yet to make a dent in this league. And yes, I know injuries have kind of prevailed him and like he hasn't had the best luck. But how do we feel about him this season? I think this is a massive year for him. I think he has to show that he's NHL ready. But what are your thoughts on Byfield going into this year?
I really like I'm excited for Byfield. I think when like now I'm really getting deep into this, critical thinking, but that's a team situation. Like the LA, like Byfield has been a byproduct of what the Kings situation has been, where they're a team who's been really patient. They're not rushing anything. Like they have, like the Kings have one of the best farm pools in the entire league. They're not rushing to try and be good because they have all this talent coming up. Where the Rangers needed Laugh and Capo Taco to be good right away because they're trying to be good right now. It's the same thing with say Ottawa and Stutzla and Brady Kachuk and Shane Pinto and Jake Sanderson. Like they're not rushing those guys because they know that the pool will be there and they will be good in a few years. That's why LA's not throwing Byfield into the Wolves right away just because they know that you know they can have short-term failure is all right so long as it leads to long-term success, and the Kings really feel like a team, and I think they truly believe that they can have long-term success. So
Yeah.
in short, I do think Byfield, with the rest of his team getting better, he will be better, he will be more successful.
All right. Hayden, looking at this division, or I guess I want to think about Calgary. How do you think Kadri, Huberto, how do you think they're going to gel together with the vets of Lindholm, Mangiapane, those kind of guys?
Man, that is something that like I can't even fully answer. Like looking at it on paper, looks great.
Yeah.
Looks amazing. On paper, their team looks good, but I kind of feel like this might be the same way Calgary's in a or Columbus is in a certain situation, and just gelling together. I have no idea. Like it could go so poorly, or it could go so good. It almost kind of reminds me of like it almost kind of reminds me of the Brooklyn Nets. There might be too many cooks in this kitchen. Like Lindholm and Kadri. I think Kadri's getting 2C, but like
Yeah.
I don't know. It kind of scares me. Kind of scares me away from the Flames. And until I see something, I can't make a good prediction on
Do,
how I feel like it's gonna go.
do you think it's a matter of panic patching in the roster?
That is a perfect explanation for it. Just because of how much they lost with Gaudreau and Tkachuk, I feel like yeah, it could be kind of panic patching, as you said, and that makes so much sense.
Ian, do you think the Calgary offense at least is going to gel well, or do you think it might have trouble um kickstarting, I guess?
I think that's fair. Like I think the first 6 weeks of the season are probably going to take some getting used to. Like I think by about American Thanksgiving, like we might see the Flames start getting into action and start kicking it into high gear, what we think they should be. But that's the thing is that nobody has patience anymore. We all want things right now. So like 3 weeks into the year, if the Flames are 3-6-1, 4-6-1, and they've lost by 2 or 3 goals in some games. Everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, this is failure," or hitting the panic button, whatever. Like it's a long season. It's a long year. Like if it doesn't happen right away, it'll come eventually. Like there's too much. This is kind of reminds me of the Brooklyn Nets thing. Like where there's too much talent for this thing to fail. There's too much talent for this not to work. They just have to put it together and they'll figure it out. And they have a coach who can do it. They have a coach who I think can make it happen.
That's fair. Vancouver. I want to talk about them for a bit. A little trouble in the front office area. Not commenting on a few different things. Aquilini being accused of mental and physical child abuse, which does not look good on the organization at all. They fired a in-house employee, Rachel Dory, if I'm not mistaken, and they refused to comment on any of that. And it was shortly after Bruce Boudreau said that she was promoted, so that doesn't look good. There's a lawsuit coming in of some sort, and she's hired lawyers and everything like that. So like nothing really looks good for the Canucks right now, especially since the season hasn't fucking started yet. So love to hear that as a fan. Yeah, it's Rachel Dory, so I wasn't mistaken. But let's talk about the team itself, just the players, no drama or whatever. The top 9 looks lovely. I am excited about this. I think Kuzmenko is going to be a fucking beast this year. I'm really excited for him. Besser is coming into this year with a clear head. It's very unfortunate with what happened to his dad and what he had to deal with last year, because Quinn Hughes, he was just on 32 Thoughts, the podcast with Friedman and Jeff Merrick, and he was saying like before the season started until like the last time Besser saw his dad before the season started, and then the next time he saw him like 6 months later, his dad got way worse. So Besser didn't necessarily know the degree, and he was worrying about his dad. And the next thing you know, he saw his dad in not the greatest shape. And then his battle after that, Besser was going through a tough time. And I think that can really deteriorate an athlete's performance and just mental energy towards anything, right? So I think with the passing of his dad, I think it just helps him just clear his head for the season. And obviously, you never want to see any family member go, but I think just in terms of hockey, like he's not going to have any of that weighing down on him anymore. Mind you, he just got thumb surgery, but he seems to be stick handling again, and he's back on the ice training. So I think a huge X factor for this Pacific Division, I'll just jump to it, is one, Vegas' goaltending, but we'll get to that later. But I think just Brock Besser. And I think that, or at least not even an X factor, but a storyline I'm following, is Besser bouncing back from his very difficult year last year, all encompassing. But I went on a rant, didn't really know where that was going, but I wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on just the Canucks outlook with everything going on. The top 9, their thin defense. Demko could have a Vezina year. Besser, clear head. Horvat contract year. There's a lot going on and a lot to look forward to. But what are your guys' thoughts on the Canucks and their season ahead?
I'm just excited because I'm finally getting into hockey more and more and more. and obviously I'm doing more things that I've ever done relative to hockey, and having a hometown team that maybe could do something is kind of nice. I know they're not going to be world beaters just because you hear and see all the different names that are world beaters, and you're like, well, we're kind of nowhere near that. But I mean, definitely could make a big run.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Two things. One, I don't know who's playing defense for the Canucks this year. No idea. I know Quinn Hughes.
Yeah, it's pretty thin. It's
Tyler.
pretty thin.
New segment. Ian tries to name Canucks defenders. Quinn Hughes, Tyler Myers, OEL.
I saw their top
Travis
6.
Dermott,
Oh, it's
Yeah,
yes,
Luke
Travis Dermott.
Shen.
He's hurt, but
Oh,
yeah. Tucker Poolman, Jack
God.
Rathbone.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's not good.
The second thing, since I'm not living in Vancouver anymore, I am really disappointed that I won't be able to go to Canucks games and have Costco hot dogs before the games. Rip. You hate to see it.
Hate to
That's
see it.
that's the best part of, or arguably the best part about going to the Canucks game is standing in after getting your food but not out in the rain waiting for your food.
Yeah. And then taking the spiral stairs and walking over top of the street through that.
Yeah. Like you've already had a couple beers, you've already pre-gamed on your way over, and then you're getting Costco hot dogs.
It's the life.
It's truly remarkable, and
It's a night to remember, man.
Yeah, it's a movie. It's a movie when you do that.
Yeah, life's a movie.
Life's a movie.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Canucks. Do we think this is going to be a big year for Horvat? Do we think the Canucks trade him at any point at the deadline, depending on how they're doing? Like, if they're not in the playoff spot, do you think Horvat gets traded? Do you think he gets extended? Does any of our defensemen get traded? Does Pearson get moved for space? Like, there's a lot of players that could get moved with Horvat on it's a contract year. And according to Friedman, he's estimated to be worth $7.5 million range, which Canucks don't have that space. So do we move him? Like, what do we think happens with Horvat throughout the year or after the season ends?
I think you kind of got to do something. If you can't afford him, you're not just gonna push other pieces aside for, someone who's I just had up his stats here. Who hasn't scored more than 20 or no, he hasn't scored more than 31 goals in the season. And that was his best season last year for goals, at least. So arguably, I think you'd have to move on from him. Find a suitable team because he's even said it. He doesn't want to go through a rebuild.
Yeah.
He wants to play on a contending team, and wherever that is, I have no idea. I don't think it's here unless unless the Canucks are doing something, and they're kind of making waves.
That's fair. Ian, what do you think?
I mean, if you get rid of Bo Horvat, who are you going to have on the bumper spot on the power play to,
Or just
take
like
those shot?
he's so much more valuable than points. That's why it sucks. It's because he's great at faceoffs. He's great two-way, and he can score 30, which is like you're not going to find that everywhere, right? But
Yeah.
it's just a matter of finding the space for it.
Which is also kind of funny with the JT Miller thing, where it's like, well, we couldn't find anybody to trade for him, so we'll just give you the extension.
Yeah. And mind you, this extension itself wasn't bad. It's just how old JT Miller is relative to that extension.
Any other assets on the team where it's like you do that while also knowing that you don't really have defense and you have your captain needing to be re-signed.
Yeah. So it's a funky situation that the team's in, but we'll see how it goes. But we'll give our Western Conference playoff seedings here. Ian, I started with Hayden last time. I'll start with you this time. What do you got for the Pacific
My
or
Pacific.
the Western Conference playoff
Oh,
picture?
well, let's do Western Conference. It's gonna be a little spicy. A little spicy. I
Very
have
nice.
very nice. I have Edmonton number 1. I have Calgary number 2. I have Vegas number 3. Those are my Pacific teams. In the Central, I have Colorado,
Yeah.
Nashville, and
Yeah.
St. Louis.
Okay.
I yeah, I and my wild card teams. I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go LA and I'm gonna go Seattle.
You motherfucker.
So I don't have Dallas making it. Don't have Dallas making it.
Don't have
Vegas is third.
Vancouver making it.
Don't have Vancouver making it.
All right. It's very
And you have
spicy.
the Golden Knights making it. Wow.
It's spicy. Seattle making the playoffs.
I have Seattle sneaking in as my last wild card spot.
Interesting. Interesting. Like a little drama here and there. It'll be crazy if Seattle makes it, but they have some potential that could be a fringe playoff team, but I don't know if they'll quite get there. But hey, what about you?
For me, the Pacific Division, I also have the Oilers at 1. And I know I said I was really feeling unsure about the Flames. But I mean, Markstrom can steal so many. I have the Flames at number 2, but it ain't gonna be pretty. And then I have the Kings at number 3.
Okay.
And then for the Central, I have the Avalanche, Predators, and the Wild.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I
That's
think there's still they still could do something. I like
Yeah.
Fleury too.
Yeah, I like Minnesota.
Yeah,
that's wild, man.
thanks. And then the wild card spots, just because I want to see them do good, give me the Canucks. I feel
Okay.
like you have to. And then, man, who's more deserving? I think I'm gonna have to give it to the Blues.
The Blues.
Yeah,
Who are you deciding between there?
I was deciding between the Ducks or the Blues.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
You're tickling Scott's fancy with that
I was gonna
statement
say, I
there.
didn't realize
yeah.
you've been talking with Scott.
Zero contact with Scott.
Clearly you've been talking to him more than I have because I had no interest in taking the Ducks whatsoever.
But yeah, I my Pacific is Edmonton at 1, Calgary 2, Vancouver 3. And then my Central is Colorado 1, St. Louis 2, and then Nashville 3. And then my wild card is Minnesota Wild in the wild card, which is pretty wild. Use that 3 times, baby, not just the 2. And then I got Vegas in the second spot.
That's 3 pumps. You get flagged for that one.
Oh yeah, true. Copyrighted.
Yeah.
Podcast from
Yeah.
taken away.
Yeah.
That's tough.
That's a podcasting foul.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Dallas not making it.
We all have Dallas missing the playoffs, huh?
Yeah, because the biggest want one in the fucking league.
I don't really like Dallas. I don't like their vibe.
Yeah, I don't like them either. All right, so we got our recap here. Ian's got Edmonton, Calgary, and Vegas as sitting top 3 in the Pacific. The Central is Colorado, Nashville, St. Louis in the Central. Top 3 there, and then LA and Seattle in the wild card. Hayden in the Pacific has Edmonton, Calgary, and the Kings. In the Central, he has Colorado, Nashville, Minnesota, with Vancouver and St. Louis in the wild cards. I got Edmonton, Calgary, and Vancouver in the Pacific. Colorado, St. Louis, Nashville in the Central, with Minnesota and Vegas rounding out the wild card. Could be fun. Could be fun. It will be fun. It's going to be very entertaining. Now, to the final leg of the show. We got, or I guess the second, but it'll be quick. We got superlatives. Got some superlatives here. I hope you guys kind of thought of some. Got 5 here, and we'll go one by one here. Who do you think, compared to last year, will be the most improved team this year? Ian, go to you first.
Do I say it?
Say it.
The Kraken.
No.
Yes,
but also no.
The Red Wings.
I want to say the Detroit Red Wings.
The Detroit Red Wings.
I don't know that they're a playoff team yet, but they're still gonna be good. Like I think they'll still be good. They're gonna be mean. And as Red Wings Twitter is saying, just wait till we get to the playoffs where people have to face Ben Sherratt. Look out. No, I listen. I think the goaltending will be good. They have a really good platoon. It feels like a better version of what Toronto's trying to do. The young guys are looking really good with Raymond, Seider, Simon Edvinsson might be on the starting lineup or top 6 opening night, and who can resist Daddy Larkin, D-Boss, Dylan Larkin, the captain, the leader of the Detroit Red Wings, who I think are going to be the most improved team this year.
Hayden, over to you.
Well, I wanted to say the Canadians, but I don't know if going from last to middle of the pack and missing playoffs is going to be an improvement. And I also was looking at the Red Wings, considering I had them in my playoffs. But I think one team that will be a lot better is the Islanders.
Oh, I like that one a lot.
That's good actually. That's a solid.
I like that one a lot. I think they're going to be improved as well. I agree with you. I think they're going to be I think there's score a lot more goals this year.
I agree.
Which isn't hard to beat after they fucking barely scored last year, but they also had a season from hell last year, so I think they're prime candidates to be improved. I got Ottawa. I think they're going to be a lot more competitive. The record might not show that. Like, they still might lose a lot of games, but I think Talbot strengthens up their goaltending. I think their defense, especially if they do end up getting Chikrin, their defense is a lot stronger, and they added DeBrincat, Giroux to their forward group, so I think they're going to be improved there as well. Team primed most for regression. We'll rattle them off here.
I think for me it's the Panthers, since I don't even have them making it.
Yeah.
Florida's my team primed most for regression as well.
Florida's one definitely that comes to mind. I'm trying to. Can I say Toronto?
Yeah.
Is that a hot take to say Toronto too? Because I think the goaltending and defense, like, definitely more concerned about those two positions than I was a year ago.
Yeah. I think Toronto could regress this year as well. I could see it. What team has the most pressure this year?
Toronto.
Yeah.
I got Carolina.
Also very applicable.
I think they added a lot, and I think a lot of people have Carolina very highly touted, which I think puts a lot of pressure on them.
I think here's the thing. I don't think anybody's getting fired in Carolina if they don't win the cup or they don't make the finals this year. If Toronto doesn't get out of the first round, people are losing their jobs.
That's a very good point. Sleeper team.
I was also gonna say Edmonton has a lot of pressure on them because they have the two greatest players of our generation and they haven't won fucking shit. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, I think Edmonton has a lot of pressure as well. Sleeper team.
The Senators for me.
I've already kind of stated, giving mine away. I think St. Louis is a sleeper team for me.
You know what? I'll say. You know what? I will do it. I'll say the Kraken. I think the
Nice.
Kraken. I think the Kraken.
I
Not
think you're
really
on
being.
crack for that one.
Not being. Here's the thing. They're not getting talked. The reason is that they're just not getting a lot of press, right? There's not a lot of people talking about them. And I know that's because people think they stink, but I think it's also just because last year was so awful that it really cannot be that bad again.
That's fair.
I seriously doubt it can be that bad.
Sleeper player. Who's a sneaky sniper this year? Not just for like goals, but like who's
You ever heard of a young kid named Moritz Seider?
do you think he's gonna be like Norris conversation?
Yeah, I think he's gonna be up there. I
I
think, dude,
like that.
I like he will be on this maybe not Makar level, but he's gonna be like a tier below like the Makar Adam Fox, like top 5 D man in the league, no doubt. That dude rocks,
I love cider.
and not just the player.
Alcoholic cider, Ian? Yeah. Okay. I did. Man, there's so many people. Honestly, I like Nashville a lot, and the more I did some mock drafts, the more I looked into it. I like Philip Forsberg. Like, I don't think he's gonna be like a world beater like anyone, but like, I don't know. I see a lot of people kind of hyping him up,
Yeah,
and I've never really heard his name.
interesting.
And a lot of people are saying that maybe this is a good year for Forsberg doing something, kind of making a tread. At least in Nashville's case.
I mean, he did get 42 goals last year. So
See, like that was something I didn't know at the time.
that's fair. That's fair.
The problem with it's not like it's problem with sleeper. It's like people don't talk about hockey enough. Like there's like the attention for all these guys just is not like.
Yeah.
You could argue that Jason Robertson is a sleeper player because there's not enough people who are talking about him.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Like he should be getting more attention, and that's more just on hockey and the NHL and how they market.
Yeah, that's
See,
a good point.
I now know why. The year before he only played 39 games and had 12 goals.
Yeah.
And the year before that he played 63 and had 21. So that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. That's a very good point. Mine is Alex Newhook. I think he's going to take a big jump in the second line center role in Colorado. And he's kind of going under a lot of people's radars. All right. NHL awards. Do you guys have yours ready?
I do.
I'm ready.
We can kind of just rattle these off. And if you have a little bit of a sleeper pick, you can kind of throw yours in there, but we'll just go with your main picks here. But if you really want to touch on a sleeper pick that you have for an award, then you can say that as well. We will start at the very top. President's Trophy. Who is the best team in the league? Hayden.
The best team in the league, I think this year will be the Colorado Avalanche. I feel like they have a pretty easy division, and they were one team off of doing it last year, and I still like them this year.
Ian?
I'm gonna say the Edmonton Oilers.
Kind of wanted to say the Oilers, but I was like, I don't know.
I'm gonna go the New York Rangers.
It's
a good
solid
one.
pick.
Yeah.
The Heart.
Great goaltending.
The Heart.
I sound like a broken record here. Connor McDavid.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Connor McDavid.
I got Connor McDavid as well. Ted Lindsay. Hayden.
I feel like this could be like again, maybe broken record again. Austin Matthews. Like
Austin Matthews? Okay.
Yeah,
I like that. Not a bad pick.
I'm gonna throw some love for Nate McKinnon.
Ooh, let's go.
Okay.
I love that. I'm gonna go Connor McDavid because whenever he wins one, he typically wins the other. The Norris. Hayden.
Didn't mean to hit my mic. Again, Cale Makar. I feel so dirty just doing all the favorites for it.
Yeah,
Ian?
you ever heard of a guy named Adam Fox? Boom.
Oh, love
He's gonna
Adam
be
Fox.
he's gonna be your Norris winner this year.
I also really like Victor Hedman again, just
Yeah.
because he's
Yeah.
such a surefire guy too.
He's been like nominated for the Vezina like 7 or 8 straight years, which is crazy. I got Cale Makar running back again. He might have a better year than last year, and he played great last year. The Vezina. I'll go first here. If the Rangers are winning the President's Trophy, then I think Shesterkin's winning the Vezina.
And I also think that Igor will win the Vezina because I think the Rangers will be like a top team as well.
I'm gonna go with arguably the greatest goalie of my generation, Andre Vasilevsky.
Not a bad pick either.
Mhm.
I think Demko is a sleepy pick here if Vancouver makes the playoffs. And then also for the Norris, I have this really good feeling about Quinn Hughes this year. I think he's coming in with a
Yeah?
chip on his shoulder, and I think Hughes is going to have a Norris level year this year.
I'm
I think he's going to, you know how typically Charlie McAvoy's slipped out of the top 3 a lot of the time? Like I think Quinn Hughes is going to be up there. I think he's
I-
going to have a big year this year.
I'm looking at DraftKings. Quinn Hughes has the same Norris odds as Moritz Seider and Miro Heiskanen.
I have this great feeling about Quinn Hughes. I think he's on better teams than them, and he was given like updates at the end of the year last year. Roman Yossi shot the puck 110 more times than him, and he was just like, I got to step up my shooting. So I think he's just gonna have a bigger year. Rookie of the year, the Calder. Who we got? Hayden.
I'm gonna go with Kent Johnson.
Oh, great pick.
Yeah, I feel like he's in a better situation than kind of the top 3 consensus is. I think I saw his odds at like plus 1,200, where
Great
there was like
odds.
the top 2 were 400, and then the one in between was 700. So I'm like, a better situation usually kind of leads to rookie of the year odds, unless they get force fed.
Yeah, that's fair. Ian.
I'm gonna go following on my Kraken love. I'm gonna go with Matty Beniers, which is also kind of a silly pick because like I think Shane Wright's probably gonna get some votes, his way as well. My dark horse though, Logan Thompson. If I have Vegas making the postseason, I got to go with Logan Thompson.
That's fair. That's a good pick. I got Beniers as well. He's first line center, first line power play. He's gonna get. And I saw that short-sided snipe that he had in preseason. It was unbelievable. Selke, best defensive forward. I got Sasha Barkov. Taking this. He's gonna be the newfound Bergeron for this trophy. Ian, who you got for this?
Yeah, I got Bergeron. If they're gonna have him play one more year, they'll give him the trophy too.
Oh, that's a good point. Narrative based.
See, I didn't want to make it narrative based. I wrote down
Yeah,
to
but
Chuck. I wrote
but
down
like,
to Chuck and Bergeron, but I was like, literally Bergeron just because narrative based, but to Chuck because he had some like, I don't know, he had a lot of block shots last year in Calgary, so why couldn't he do it in Florida?
Fair.
half
And
of these
especially if I
awards,
think Florida's going to be bad.
half of these awards are narrative based. So like,
Yeah, that's very true.
That's a good point. Jack Adams, coach of the year.
Well, if I'm so high on the Red Wings, I have Mr. Derek Lalonde.
oh, let's go.
I love that
Oh.
pick. I love that pick so much.
I'm gonna go Jim Montgomery.
I was flip-flopping between my pick and him. I was flip-flopping between them.
I'm looking at DraftKings. The top 4 Jack Adams leaders are Sheldon Keefe, Jay Woodcroft, Jared Bednar, and Gerard Gallant. All except Keefe, but like 3 of the 4 coaches who made the conference finals last year. Way to go out on a limb there, DraftKings. Way to be controversial.
That was like your hot take at the beginning of the year. Bills are good. Hot take. Bills are good.
Yeah. Who would have thought? Not me.
Yeah. Mine, I was flipping flopping between Jim Montgomery and this guy. Landed on this guy, Mike Sullivan, head coach
Yeah.
for the Penguins. I think Pittsburgh is being a little slept on this year, and I think they're going to finish top 3. And typically, it's more of a preseason expectation to where you finish as opposed to finishing the best. The Rocket Richard.
This is kind of why I have Austin Matthews winning the Lindsay, but the Rocket Richard Trophy as well for Matthews.
All right, Ian. Shane Wright.
No.
Matty
no,
Beniers.
no. You know what? I'll go with this guy. I'll say David Pastrnak.
David Pastrnak.
I'm gonna go Pasta.
Pasta. Yeah, I like
I
that.
I mean, it'd be hilarious if he was, because like everybody would be like, "Fuck, the Bruins got a 60 goal scorer." Shit. Fuck.
I got Leon Draisaitl.
That's probably the right pick.
And then the Art Ross. Most points. I think this is chalk.
See, this one I put Leon Draisaitl.
Okay.
I think maybe I don't know. Edmonton could have the most. They could have a 300-point line as well.
That's not a bad take.
No, I don't think so. Especially with Kane, another year.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Ian, who you got for Art Ross?
I'll go No, yeah, I'll go McDavid. Yeah, I was about to change halfway through. No, I'll do McDavid. Connor McDavid. Connor McJesus, baby.
Yeah, I went McDavid as well. All right. That is your awards. And now, one more. The biggest award of them all. The Stanley Cup. We will each give our Stanley Cup matchups and winner along with our Conn Smythe. Hayden, who you got in the Stanley Cup Finals, and who you got winning, and who you got getting the MVP?
Battle of Canada. Canada is winning the cup this year.
Really?
It'll be the Leafs versus the Oilers, and
Wow.
Connor McDavid will be your MVP.
And Edmonton winning the cup. Wow. That is spicy.
Pour it on Toronto.
Just because you got Toronto making it past the first. Wow.
I'm insane.
The
That's
Battle of Canada. Okay. All right, Ian. I don't know how you're gonna fucking top that one, buddy.
Yeah,
but
no, I might as well just leave now. I might as well just head out. That's it. That's the pick. Jesus.
Yeah, pay your bill at Cactus and fucking head out, bud.
Yeah. Can I get this to go? No. I'll go with the Tampa Bay Lightning making their 4th straight appearance in the cup. And yeah, I'll say it's a rematch. I say Colorado gets back. I think it's gonna be Colorado.
Wow.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
A rerun.
If they make it back to the final, the whole hockey world's gonna go ape shit.
But the question, it's not like if Tampa gets back, it's who are they going to put on LTIR all year to make it happen?
Yeah.
DraftKings should be taking bets on that.
Yeah, true. My pick is Carolina versus Edmonton, and I think Carolina's gonna be hoisting the cup with Mista Svechnikov winning the Conn Smythe.
Oh, I didn't give my Conn Smythe.
Oh yeah.
I got Tampa Bay winning, and I'm gonna give it to Andre Vasilevsky. No, you know what? No, narrative base. Excuse me, Steven Stamkos. The Canadian media is gonna want Stammer to get his turn, so it's Steven Stamkos.
Stammer's Hammer, baby.
Yeah.
The home of my fantasy team. All right. That's basically it for this NHL preview show. Thank you for listening. Hayden, I know you got to run. Where can the people follow you?
On Instagram and Twitter at Hayden_Barton. Sorry boys and sorry people. Maybe it'll be the last time from hearing from me. Love you guys. Deuces.
All right. Ian, where can the people follow everything that you're doing?
I'm not doing a whole lot. You can follow me on Instagram at Ian McNaughton and at SYP Pod. I've been busy just because of my career change, not career change, but promotion. And yeah, go follow the brand. Follow myself. Scott might be doing selections again this weekend. I don't know. Just throw a follow. What's a follow? What's a follow worth to people?
Exactly. Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly. Well, this was a big show, but you guys can follow me on Instagram at Jevin.Lefave, on Twitter at JevinLefave. Find everything for the show on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at LeftsideHeavy_. Head to the YouTube, subscribe there, watch all podcasts on video form, and leave a rating and review on Apple and Spotify or anywhere you get your podcasts. Helps grow the show. Big preview show, over 2 hours long, but it'll be a really great season, and I hope you guys enjoy everything. It'll be a fucking great time. But Ian, thanks for joining us. Thanks for taking time. Thanks for sitting in the fucking Cactus Club to record this. I appreciate it. But people, will see you on Friday for KBNR episode. Peace.